Hi, my name is Retta Yanez. I'm 32 years old. I live in a very small town in West Texas. My story began July 6, 2016. My ex-boyfriend came to my home and assaulted me in my vehicle. I suffered injuries to my shoulder and my elbow, along with bruising and scratches on my entire body. He choked me. He took my cell phone so I couldn't call for help. He abandoned his daughter and me on the side of the road and stole my vehicle. So that was about 6 months ago. I have been working for the past 2 or 3 months on a victim statement that I will be telling or reading to him on our court date. It started out as probably like 13 or 14 pages or so of documents that I'd been working on, and after reading it over and over and kind of revising it or whatever, I decided to cut a bunch of it out and has narrowed it down to about 4 or 5 pages. This is the first time I'm going to be reading it because I feel that I need to be prepared when I go to my court hearing and I'm able to read this without any hesitation, and I'd be able to read it without kind of getting stuck or being hung up trying to talk. I want to try to read it without crying. I know that's probably going to be impossible, but I would like to read it without crying and giving too much emotion. I'd like to read it fully so I have a better understanding. Reading it and having some mindset. I don't want to be diverted by my emotions. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading this. Like I said, this is the first time I'm going to be reading it out loud, and this is just to kind of prepare me for my court hearing. First, coffee. All right, let's do this. I'm nervous. It's difficult to describe how my life has been changed by this event. When I think of what Lewis did, I'm bewildered. His actions go beyond my comprehension and will take many years to process. The emotional and physical impact this assault has had on my life is overwhelmingly incomprehensible. Discovering all the new ways this abuse that I suffered is perplexing, and I'm still discovering new disturbances each day. My full understanding of what you've done to me has become clearer every day. The clarity of seeing that you never really loved me. I was only a sitting duck to your ensnaring scheme. My life is forever changed and damaged by what you've put me through, and your failure to behave as an adult during this entire process, from the hours leading to the assault and the months preceding, shows your frivolous attitude. Before this assault, I was an assiduous, hard-working employee on salary, with vacation and sick days available for use. After this assault, I've been changed to an hourly employee with 0 vacation and sick days left required for my surgery. I've lost an immoderate amount of wages for doctor's appointments and physical therapy. I fear losing my job when I have this surgery due to recovery and physical therapy. I desperately need this surgery but cannot afford to lose further wages at the hands of Lewis. Due to my office having front glass windows, I feared Lewis would come by with his gun to shoot me or assault me again. I have trouble concentrating at work, staying focused, and fighting back waves of tears. You have successfully instilled fear in my life. I am very aware of what you're capable of, and know the injuries I received that night were minimal considering your extensive knowledge in weapons, knife fighting, and mixed martial arts. At my first appointment with an orthopedic specialist, my doctor confirmed an acromial clavicular tear and a possible rotator cuff tear. I had approximately 8 weeks of tormenting physical therapy. I was told by the orthopedic specialist during a follow-up I would most likely need surgery to address the AC tear and rotator cuff tear, but I cannot afford to have an MRI done to see the extent of this tear, and this excruciating shoulder, arm, and elbow pain has been a daily issue. Because of this assault and the financial strain Lewis has placed upon me, I cannot afford an MRI or surgery. I've been diligently saving money where I can to have the MRI and surgery as quickly as possible. Yet, the surgery will then leave me with more financial strain from not working. Brushing my daughter's hair, brushing my teeth, getting dressed, putting on a jacket or a coat, pushing open a door, driving, typing, holding my kids, giving them hugs, or holding my photography camera. These are just a few of the daily activities or movements that cause me pain. I used to have so much fun using my camera to capture so many memories of my growing and laughing children or capture any still photos, and now I see no more interest in using my professional camera to take pictures. I can never get away from what happened to me because the memories are too upsetting. When you were punching, pulling, and choking me, I felt I was going to lose consciousness. You used your hands to clench my throat tighter and tighter, and I started to feel dizzy. Every time you attempted to pull me out of my car, I would fight back. I kicked you once in your face, knocking off your glasses. I wished I could have fought harder. But now I see how much I fought against you, like here in court today, and that gives me some comfort. 2 days after this assault, on July 8, 2016, my kids saw me with bruises and scratches on my legs, neck, arms, abdomen, with my arm in a sling, and an uncomfortable tender chest and body. Trying to make the best of my one visitation weekend while they spent their summer with their dad, I had to courageously tell them I hurt myself getting out of my car and I was sick. They didn't suspect anything because I couldn't dare tell them any information of the truth that happened in Garden City. I couldn't bear to tell them the truth. I enjoyed their snuggles that weekend, with them telling me how much fun they had with Victor, letting them swim for hours at the hotel pool while I sat on a lounge chair and watched. I couldn't enjoy my one summer weekend with them considering I was so sore and had awful shoulder pain. My children have absolutely no knowledge of what happened that night or the assault, and I'm glad it's been kept this way. They know only that we broke up and we wouldn't be spending time with you ever again. One day in the future, when they're older, I'll tell them about this situation and its entirety. Lee will learn that all you had ever taught him was a facade. Lillian will understand that the man she once called her dad at her first grade ball is a liar and a monster. Lillian looked up to you, and she will be heartbroken when I tell her of this situation. I'll warn her to guard her heart, fight for this cause, and never let a man treat her like you treated me. I have flashbacks of yesteryear. Some days they're welcomed, other days they're torture. They remind me of how precious life once was, how your gentle hands would envelop mine and we could talk for hours, the silly conversations we would have, and the desire for our future together. Now I think of those moments and I'm disgusted in the truth. The truth that your gentle, loving hands would be squeezed around my neck, blocking the tasteless air from entering my lungs. Your sweet, kind words would be screaming vile things as you pressed your entire body weight on my chest. Your ravenous mouth, drooling, spitting in my face, yelling at me. Your arms used as crowbars to pry my body from the car as I fought you. This night, it reminded me of the truth that you're nothing but a cruel man wanting to hurt the woman you love. For the 2.5 years we were together, I thought I knew who you were, and boy, was I wrong. You convinced me that you were my prince, but I was naive. I think of the trips we had together, all 5 of us, and know that while you are locked away, I will make even better trips and memories for myself and my children. Memories so much better than we have ever had together, only because you, my monster, in disguise, are no longer a part of. I've been forced to reevaluate my thinking and expectations of my former boyfriend. I want to find who I was 3 years ago, and that's not who I am now. Sleepless nights, nightmares, endless tears are slowly becoming a thing of the past. They haven't stopped yet, and I don't expect them to stop soon. I am still working on becoming who I was before I met you, before you obliterated my sense of security, trust, charisma, joy, and upbeat life. I am cautious of people getting close to me in fear that they may attack, even people I've known and trusted for years. My closest friends and family see this change. Any future relationship must be judged off this assault. The fear of being assaulted by a person I love is genuinely perplexing. Lewis, you are the strong framework that would hold everything together, and now you have ruined your entire family with your actions on the night of July 6th, 2016. I hope that one day I will be able to move on, becoming stronger and better, and being able to have peace. You had 2 jobs in this world, a registered nurse and a father, both of which have been severed the minute you sped off in my car, leaving your terrified daughter in the bar ditch and tried to flee to a quixotic job in Hawaii. It was your job to protect her, and you failed. Upon entering the prison facility where you will spend your days remembering or possibly forgetting how your actions have led you here, I hope you see what damage you've caused not only to me, but to Ella, and most of all to yourself. It's a parent's job to protect our children. Ella helped protect me, screaming while you hit me violently, "Daddy, stop, you're hurting Retta." But sometimes it's our children that protect us. Ella is not my biological daughter, but her cries for help were enough for me to fight back. Ella has been robbed of blank, and this blank I will fill in with however many years he's sentenced to. Ella has been robbed of blank of her growing youth at the destructions of your hands. You were supposed to protect her, and you did not uphold that value. You've lost her. The man she looked up to, loved so much, and respected is now being sent away to prison. A lackluster example of the father she needs. I pray that she gets the best guidance while you are away and realize that you're not an ideal man to look up to. Eventually, she'll see that. When she starts to date and has interests in boys, I hope these hellish memories cross her mind for just a second, and it sets an example of the boy she will be with and not the frightening man she saw with that night. Ella didn't write a victim statement, but talking to her over the phone, she feels guilty for your crimes. She, an 8-year-old innocent child, feels guilty for your crimes, the crimes of her 42-year-old father. Ella is courageous and brave. Because of you, those characteristics grew excessively that night. She's learned to grow up fast, and you will never serve enough time to make up for the youth that she's lost. I know my words echo Ella's thoughts. You convinced your family and friends that I'm a liar. How dare you take the anguish you've put me through and insult me by calling me a liar? People believed I instigated you, and I got what I deserved. To those people, I say, the manifestation of my emotional and physical injuries display the truth. Lewis, you blamed me for ruining your life and saying this was my fault. I didn't deserve any of this, and neither did Perla or Abby. I know the truth of your relationships with Perla and Abby. 3 women who have suffered at your hands, and only a shocking realization that I wasn't the only woman you'd abused in the past. To those who protected you, I say, blaming the victim only masks the evil within, making you just as guilty as my abuser. I'm at peace knowing I didn't drop these charges. I love myself knowing you tried good and hard to keep your son out of trouble and bailed him out every other time he was in a problem. But no more. Your family tried to convince me not to testify and drop these charges because I would ruin your life. But you see, I did nothing wrong. You ruined your life, your daughter's life, and your career. It's been you. All along, it's been you. It isn't easy for your mother to acknowledge and admit that she raised a monster. So instead, she pretends that none of this happened. She blames me instead of helping me and has tried to convince Ella this trauma and assault had never happened to me. Lewis, you've even tried to convince your own daughter that you were the victim and that I assaulted you. But her innocent eyes and curious mind know the truth. I will not fall into the depths of depression. I will overcome and be stronger than you. I'm doing this right now with this very letter. With every single word that I'm speaking today, I accumulate courage, increase in strength, and advance in my path of healing. I am a strong person, though it may not be showing today. I am overwhelmed with fear, but I am strong. I am not ashamed. There is no shame for being a victim of domestic violence. I'm a survivor. I will speak my truth, and my story will be heard, and I will not be silenced. No more excuses. I am not ashamed. I am now left to wonder how I will ever be able to trust another person completely. The person I chose to have a relationship destroyed my life, and my entire sense of unquestioning trust is gone. I am not the person I used to be, and I will get to that place eventually. Not right now, not tomorrow, but soon. I do believe God has a purpose, and His sign to me was that you, Lewis, were not the man you said you were to be. You will not be my future husband, and I not your future wife. To you, Lewis, my abuser, this sin, crime, and shame is yours forever. You will carry that burden. Take it upon your shoulders and your dirty hands, and carry your shame every day. As for your future, I am comforted knowing that you won't see me, my kids, my family, your parents, sister, brother, niece, and most of all, Ella. You've caused her so much turmoil in her young 8 years, and without you, she will need to rely on her mom, Abby, and stepdad, Hazel, for guidance. I know the environment she's in is now better than it has ever been in the past, and undeniably superior than the environment she's been exposed to with you before your most recent stay in county jail. So many victims and survivors of domestic abuse choose not to come forward because it is lengthy and terrifying. But I wanted to make sure no one else is at the hands of Luis Fernando Serrano III, because as you know, I was not his first victim. I decided to come through with these charges against Luis so I can stand up for what's right, to tell other women or men who are abused by their partner, even though you are scared, you need to stand up for your family, your children, and most of all for yourself. The love of the passerbys who turned around to offer their assistance after witnessing you hit me is undescribable. I don't know who they are, but I would like to offer my deepest thanks for stopping to help Ella and I until medical assistance and deputies arrived. I don't know how long Luis would have hit or choked me if those virtuous people didn't stop to offer their help, hugs, prayers, and most of all their cell phones so I could call for help. I would like to sincerely thank the Glasscock County Sheriff's Office for their swift actions arriving on scene the night of July 6, 2016, and local and statewide law enforcement to have Luis arrested a few hours later in Big Spring in my car. Christy Dyer, Mitchell Yanza, and Tommy Holscher of the Glasscock County EMS for rendering aid to Ella and I until the early morning of July 7, 2016. For Deputy Brian Peterson, who has handled this case from the second he was called out and have worked tirelessly throughout this ordeal, keeping me involved in every aspect of this case and reassuring me that I would get justice. For Glasscock County Judge Kim Hoffman, for her quick response to have an emergency protective order placed within hours of this assault. For the doctors, nurses, and staff at Fast ER Care, Urgent Orthopedics, and D1 Physical Therapy. And lastly, I would like to give an abundance of thanks to the Board of Directors at the Glasscock Groundwater Conservation District, Galen, Allen, Russell, Wayne, and Bart, and General Manager Ken Carver. My employer has been exceedingly understanding in my situation and has given me time to readjust, taking time for appointments, quick trips to physical therapy, personal phone calls while at work, and just days of overwhelming tears. I hope that when you see that beautiful mole on your shoulder, the same one Ella has on her shoulder, that you're reminded of me too. That same mark that you and Ella have is the same place where you've caused me the most physical injury. What you have now is prison and will now forever be known as a felon. No matter how much love you have for Ella, there wasn't enough love to keep you from doing all of this. You destroyed me, and I've slowly started to build myself back up into someone you will never have the honor of getting to know. So that is my my victim's impact statement.